Hey everybody, it's On Screen Off Screen with Josh Conlon and myself. We talk about what we watch this week and how our lives affect what we watch, and what we watch affects our lives. Uh, let's start off with Josh with 007.
Yeah, so a game came out this last weekend, or this last week, called 007 First Light, and it was vaguely on my radar. This was one of Conlin's most anticipated games. But it was vaguely on my radar because of the Indiana Jones Great Circle game. Um, I myself am not well versed in 007, and that was pointed out to me, and I was criticized in my gaming group because I had only seen one James Bond movie, and they were like,
That's
"What?
crazy.
Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "It's such a thing in our society. I don't feel like I have to watch James Bond to understand what James Bond is, right? Like, I wasn't allowed to watch it growing up. I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything or whatever." So I was given a list of James Bond movies to watch, and the first one was his personal favorite, Thunderball. This movie is fantastic. This one really made me realize how different James Bond can be from Mission Impossible or the Bourne series or whatever. What makes James Bond so unique? I think that there's certain things you need in a James Bond film to make it stand out. You need an Aston Martin chase scene. You need a epic, ridiculous gunfight. You need stunts that don't make sense. I think that Mission Impossible has stunts that do make sense. This one just needs ridiculous stunts. And in this one, it's largely underwater. And there's this amazing scene where James Bond is fighting an army of guys using a harpoon gun, and they're pretending to crouch underwater behind this sunken boat and take cover and shoot a harpoon gun as if a gun doesn't take 25 minutes to reload. um, but it's so awesome. I don't even care. It's just such a cool fun thing. You have the love interest, and she shows a little bit of humanity of Bond, and then she has to die. Or she doesn't show the humanity in Bond and she lives and they just never see her again. Um, but I really had a really great time with Thunderball. I thought it was fun, ridiculous, James Bond spy thriller enjoyment.
It's
I
the
then
only Sean Connery one I haven't seen, actually.
Okay. It's largely underwater. It's very different because it's most of this movie is underwater. But you realize this came out in the 50s and they're shooting underwater, and just that fact is cool. Like
That was cool.
the way that this is being shot is cool. No, you don't take this plot seriously at all, but you have fun with it, and it's a great time. I tried switching over to a different Bond film, but I didn't have access to it. So it started playing some French film, and I literally Googled. I was like, "Is this one supposed to be all in French?" And they're like, "No." AI was like, "No, you're actually confusing it with this other movie starring the same actors and is also a spy movie, but is very." I was like, "What the?" So I stopped watching that one and moved on to the next one. I decided I was going to start watching the Daniel Craig movies. So I started watching Royale. And I was really looking forward to this one because on all the Bond lists, this one's top five on everybody's list. If you look at Bond lists, they're very varying. Some have Skyfall super high, some have Skyfall super low, some have Thunderball super high. They're all over the place. Everybody kind of likes something different about Bond. But Casino Royale is constantly really high up there. My first thought is this is the worst Bond song so far. Every Bond has its unique song. That song sucks. It is a horrible song. I don't know who greenlit that. That was freaking horrible. I really love the opening chase scene, but the poker game is so boring. Oh my
It
gosh, it
is
is
so boring.
half of this movie,
Yeah.
and I don't get the love for it. Do we know that poker scenes can be good? Yes, we all watched a Western film called Maverick where it had a very good poker scene in it.
Or
Scenes.
the
Or
entire freaking movie of 21.
21 was the next one I was going to bring up. So it can be done. And instead, we're looking at Bond. Look at this guy with the bleeding eye. For half the movie, they're not talking. We don't even get to know what the cards on the table are. I'm like, what the freak is this scene? And then they take all these breaks just to give us an action scene. And I love the action scenes for the most part. It gets really like shaky cammy, so some of them are really hard to follow, but the ones that you can follow I feel like are really cool and interesting and fun. But man, I don't care at all about this poker game. And I'm so bored during half this movie. So
I literally my dad was a big James Bond fan, so we watched him when I was a kid, and we went into this one in theaters. My dad was pumped; he was very excited. He was excited for Daniel Craig, and it was one of the most boring movie theater experiences I had ever had. I didn't watch James Bond for like a year and a half after I watched this movie because I thought it was so boring and so lame.
yeah, I do not
I don't get it.
understand the love for this movie at all because it is like such a big chunk of it is boring. There's a scene towards the end where Bond is crippled and he's at this hospital. If I am ever crippled, I want to be placed in that hospital. Just so you guys know, fly me over to Switzerland, put me in that hospital because he's sitting in this chair with this beautiful architecture behind him under these beautifully green trees overlooking this like gorgeous lake. And I was like, man, if I'm ever just like stuck in a chair for a while, just like stick me in a chair and have me sit there. Because, like, what a great place. This is freaking awesome. I doubt it was actually a hospital and they wanted to just use the location. But if it is a hospital, that's where I'd like to be. But yeah,
Is that the same location I feel that Anakin and Padme like had their heart to heart?
no,
Okay,
it's not.
there's like one James Bond one I feel like where they have the same scene, but I can't remember. Maybe I'm just pulling that out of my head,
I
but
could be wrong. I could very much be wrong. But, like, they don't look at all like the same place to me. So, but I could be wrong. But yeah, the shaky cam was really horrible. Like I said, at times it was super hard to follow who I was even looking at. I feel like with the Bond films, even when they're bad, you still know which character you're seeing. This one, there were straight up times where I was like, "Is that Daniel Craig? Who? What is going on? Where are we going? What is happening?" And that's when I think shaky cam has gone too far. So for that reason, and the super boring poker game that I don't care about, that is half of the screen time. I'm putting this one in the don't waste your time on, don't watch this area. Now, Quantum of Solace is the next one. It is a direct sequel to Casino Royale, and it is largely thought of as one of the worst Bond films. Um, it is quite literally the opposite of Casino Royale in that way. Most people hate it. Most people are not into it. XYZ, whatever. But they straight up open with an Aston Martin doing a chase scene with lots of gunfire down the roads into a big mine. And it's not shaky cam. Um, in
It is pretty
cas-
awesome.
in Casino Royale, there's this big like 15-minute opening chase scene where they're featuring parkour, and it's really cool. But you get to the end, and Bond kills the guy. He made a big point to be like, "We need this guy alive," and then he shoots him. And you're like, okay, what? Why did I watch this? It's like 15 minutes long, and then they do it. And in this one, they don't undermine themselves. It's not the most amazing Bond film. It doesn't have like all the fun high highs for sure, but it doesn't have boring poker through half of it. I was actually engaged through the entirety of Quantum of Solace. Does it make sense given where we left off with the last movie? No, there was straight up a character that they said, don't trust him, he's a spy. And then the sequel, he's like, trust him, he's the only one we can trust. He got out somehow. He proved his innocence somehow. He quit MI6 somehow. We just accept this and we go talk to him, and he's a good guy. Um, but we get some of my favorites. We get the CIA guy coming back, and we have this rivalry with Bond that's kind of fun. We get really exciting, you know, action sequences, but none of the like ridiculous stunts, which is what I think makes Bond stand out on its own. And so far, with Daniel Craig at least, we haven't gotten that in either of these two films. But I do think Quantum Solace is worth watching, unlike the other one. I would 100% rewatch Quantum of Solace. I don't think I should tell anybody to watch Casino Royale the first time, because, like, what? So boring. So freaking boring. So yeah, Thunderball, I'm giving an 8.7 because I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an absolute riot. I thought it was super fun. Casino Royale, I'm giving a 3. Just plain 3. Like the opening chase is good. There's some good scenes in it. Man, it's so boring. Quantum Solace, I'm giving like a solid 7.
Okay, cool. And is Thunderball your favorite James Bond movie?
No.
Okay. What's your favorite James Bond movie?
Skyfall.
Still is your favorite?
Skyfall is so freaking good.
That's crazy, man.
I love Skyfall.
That's crazy.
I've seen it so many times. How could it not be my favorite? Like, not only that is it my first Bond film, it is the only one that I'm like, man, I rewatch this a lot. It's great.
You do rewatch it all the time?
I don't know about all the time, but like every 3 to 5 years, yeah. I've seen it a handful of times.
Cool.
Since
Why do you like that one so much?
Because it's so good. What's the formula for a great James Bond film? Ridiculous stunts. Check. Stupid gadgets. Check. We have an Aston Martin with guns popping out of its headlights and shooting a bunch of bad guys. Skyfall takes a like interesting look. We get some of Bond's actual backstory. It's a more personal story than the normal James Bond films are. Whatever else is in this formula, like Skyfall just has. And a lot of these other films, they don't. And Skyfall is a great song by Adele. Unlike, holy crap, Quantum of Solace has a worse song somehow than Casino Royale. An actual lyric in that song is bang, bang, you shoot, and then you die. Who okayed these songs? And like the performers aren't even that bad, but they do a terrible job in that song. They picked like 2 actual like performers who I don't hate, and they made them sound horrible.
I mean, it sounds like they just went right to the meat of the matter. No.
The song is ways you die or how you die or whatever. But it's so weird because it's like, there's a ring on the phone next to your nightstand. Bang, bang. They shoot. Then you die. And I was like, how is this lyrics to a song? To a song? I can't keep a straight face when I say that. That is so freaking ridiculous. And they don't even like sing these lyrics. They like do the talking, singing thing. And they sound horrible doing it. Like, Every aspect of this song is just terrible. Um, so yeah, those are my reviews of the movies. I'm gonna switch over to
Cool.
First Light. I am like 3/4 the way through this game,
Cool.
and it's everything everybody says it is. It is epic. It is fun. It feels James Bond. It has a loose story that you just kind of accept because gotta fight that terrorism. It's got a plot twist that comes at about the point where I'm at, and you're like, "Yep, saw that coming." But man, am I having a great time with all this parkour, all these shooting sequences. You feel super cool because these guns that they give you don't have lots of ammo, so you're like constantly switching guns, or you're like, shoot, 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 throw your gun at the guy, punch him, grab his gun, shoot him in the face, go hunt to the next guy. So you get these really cool sequences, and you can be like a spy through part of them, and you can be like actiony through part of them. Um, it's a very pretty game. It's not the most pretty game. I think that they really got water like completely wrong. There's a in the beginning. There's like a training sequence where you're like in the Mediterranean, and you see the water, and you're like, it looks like somebody put like a green. What are those called?
Green.
No, it's a candy. It's like square, kind of like a foot long, but like the square kind. Anyway, green, kind of like stretchy, glossy candy at where the water was supposed to be, and they're like, "That's good." I'm like, that looks bad. I don't know why they did that.
I didn't think that.
They 100% did
I
that.
I just played the little first part up to where you blow up the area. And I was like, this looks good. It didn't blow my mind or anything, but I was like, this all looks pretty solid.
Yeah, that's my review of it. It looks really good.
And in the water, like I didn't like notice anything off, is what I'm saying.
But you haven't seen the Mediterranean yet, which is
That's
the
true.
scene that I'm
That's true.
specifically calling out for looking bad with water. Other than that, I don't notice the water. There's a straight up like
It's just
boat
that one
sequence where you're jumping between freighter ships and stuff. And like I didn't notice the water there, but they're like, this lake needs to look like, or this sea needs to look like green candy, and it needs to not move. And you're like, okay, don't know why you did that, but yeah, it looks really good. It's not the prettiest game ever, but it does look really good. You go to a lot of really fun locations. You meet a lot of really cool characters. It does feel very James Bond. I'm very excited to finish it. I don't think I'm going to be back here and being like, the story was incredible, but it was fun. And so far, I think I would pick it for Game of the Year. But that's going
Okay.
against Forza Horizon, Pragmata.
You would pick it over Pragmata? Your review of
Yeah.
Pragmata was great.
I love Pragmata, but like, it's not going to win Game of the Year.
Wow. I mean, your choice of game of the year, or like
My choice of Game of the
actual
Year.
game of the year?
My choice of Game of the Year.
Wow.
So
Okay.
far, I still have to finish it. I still have a quarter of the game left to go. That could change. But as of right now, yeah.
It's
That's
funny
pretty
because
cool.
I watched a guy play like probably like he had like a 30-minute snippet of like him playing James Bond, this 007 First Light, and it was so funny because the same guy who does I don't know if you've seen him. He has like a German accent, has his little round glasses, and he'll like fall out of the screen as he like talks about things. But he's like playing. He's like, oh yes, there's this guy just trying to live his life, and he wants to just get his minimum wage. So I should better take him out just gently and softly. And he just like smashes him with a wall, throws him down, kicks him.
Yeah.
So funny. And then like yeah, he ran out of ammo, and so he just chucked his gun at this guy and then stole his gun. He's like, thank you, good sir. Just like mows down everybody in the scene. It was great.
Yeah. But that's the other thing. I think these action sequences are challenging enough that I don't just
Mhm.
walk through them. Like I do fail them from time to time, but they're not so challenging I get frustrated with doing them. And they're just fun. It is a
They're just
fun,
fun.
good looking James Bond game. And if you even remotely just a little bit like James Bond, you will like this game. Because it's just really good James Bond. Like, I don't have anything else to say about it other than it's just really good James Bond. Because that's all it really is.
Good.
Does it beat Slay the Spire for Game of the Year?
For me, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. 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 I'm excited to play it. I was happy with the first little section. I thought it was good. I thought it was like a
It's a
solid,
lot more
good
of that.
introduction. Sweet.
It's a lot more
It's
of
gonna be
that.
great.
Yeah.
Do you like this or Indiana better?
This.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Indiana Jones isn't really my thing. I've talked about this, I think, on the podcast before, at least to Conlon, if I have not. Indiana Jones is a weird thing for me. I didn't watch it a ton growing up. I really like the first three quarters of the movies. I hate the last quarter when everything just turns all like mythic and ridiculous. And I'm like, what happened to my adventure thing that I was watching? I don't really love that. I think of Indiana Jones like a lot of people talk about the Pirates 2 and 3, where they're like, it just turns way too supernatural. And I'm like, the whole thing has been supernatural. But with this, it like suddenly becomes supernatural at the end of all of them. And like sometimes it's fine, sometimes it's not. I really don't love the Temple of Doom stuff because he's just like sitting there while a bunch of weird stuff happens. And the same thing with Great Circle. It like you get to the end and then you're like, and now it's Noah's Ark flashing through space and time while you fight this guy. And you're like, okay, I just finished the most boring, sandy, nothing section of this game that lasts forever, and now I'm doing this supernatural stuff. Like I liked it, but like Egypt was way too long of a section. It delayed the best section in the game. And the best section in the game was like 2 minutes of its like 20-hour playtime. At this one, it's like I like all the places we go. I like all the things we're doing. I'm having fun with all of it. None of it
That
feels
doesn't feel
like
like there's a weak spot.
ridiculously. Yeah, like I said, I still have a quarter of the game to go, so that very much could change. But like as of right now, I'm putting it at an 8.8. I will update when I finish, but like it's really really fun. Just
Cool.
having fun.
I love that. That's awesome.
All
That is
right.
awesome.
With that, let's go on to Conlin's topic. Hoppers? We
Yeah.
talked about. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this yet.
Yeah.
No. So this is the new Pixar movie, and I have heard from a lot of reviewers. I've read a lot of reviews. It's like Pixar's back, blah 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 blah. I disagree completely. This is a good movie. I'm not going to say it's not. It is worth people's time. If you are in the mood for a cartoon type movie, you will have fun with it. I really think that. But this is not Pixar's back. This felt like Home on the Range, which was an early 2000s Disney movie, where it's like, you know what? This is a pretty enjoyable movie that will absolutely be forgotten in 5 years. Nobody will talk about it. It will be completely forgotten. But it's not a bad movie. Home on the Range is not bad. You could rewatch that movie and I think you'd have a good time. I did do that for this review. And I was like, you know what? I didn't remember that. That was a pretty fun movie. It feels early Disney's 2000. It doesn't feel like it has the Pixar soul. Pixar has lessons that don't feel like they're overly pushed. They're like interweaved into the story. This one does have a message of conserving wildlife that I think is a little heavy-handed, but not necessarily a bad message. As a message of you don't completely understand your enemies. There's a mayor that's trying to build a road that's going to build over this pond, and she thinks that he's just the baddest. Our main character is a girl who's going to college. She thinks he's the baddest man in the entire world. She works with her professor, and her professor is designing a robot beaver that she can use to basically like infiltrate the wildlife and understand them in their natural habitat. Like that's the basic story of hoppers. They have a couple good twists. My favorite one is the shark. During the movie, she gets way too involved, and she gets this council of the kings. So you have like the king of the snakes, you have the king of the fishes, you have the king of the birds, and you have the king of the mammals, which is her friend the beaver. And she gets this like she does a kill strike on the governor of the city. So all of the animals are chasing this governor through the city, and it is hilarious. You don't know exactly what's going to happen, and then all of a suddenly the birds pick up a shark out of the ocean and try to drop the shark on this guy's car, and the shark has this like call center lady voice, and it is hilarious. Like it was a great segment. I had so much fun with this part of the movie. um I think this is a good one, an enjoyable enough movie. It is not as good as people say it is, but that's not a bad thing. If you missed a little Disney Pixar magic, honestly, there haven't been a ton of good Disney animated movies for a while. This one is worth watching. It's worth going on a date. It's worth just having a good time with if you want something new. It's kind of my review. I'm going to give it a solid 7.5. I will rewatch this at some point, but it'll be a while.
Okay. It's funny. I think I've seen the part with the shark where she's
It's
like,
so funny.
like ask. I feel like she's like verifying whether it was the person that they wanted
Yeah.
to get. They're like, okay, you'll want to move.
Coming in for a landing, and then she like lands on it, and she's going, I need you to stay still so I can bite off your head. I.
I think it was like what
funny.
freak. Like it was kind of scary actually, where they think they lose her, and then all of a sudden she's like on the end of the tube or whatever coming at him. Anyway,
Yeah, it was very funny, and they did a good job of when she's in the beaver costume, she can understand the animals. When she's not, she can't. So it makes it so there's a different levels to the same animal characters, because sometimes you can hear their voice, and sometimes there's just cute furry animals, and you as the audience interact with the animal different depending on what our main character is perceiving. And I thought that was really well done. Um, they did some creative things in it. It just feels much more Disney than it does Pixar.
well, I mean, Disney did get Pixar, so it makes sense.
I know. Anyway,
Glad you had fun with it.
I did.
I'm excited to. I want to go see it, but I don't know that I'll. Is it still in theaters?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay, I'll have to figure out where to watch it from.
It's one Josh could probably add. It. I think you'd have fun with it.
Yeah. Okay, with that, we'll move on to my topic, which is kind of Conlin's topic.
Yeah, it is.
Doctor Who. So Conlin has some questions for me.
Yes, so many questions.
Okay.
Number one, what got you into Doctor Who? Because I don't get it. I've tried so hard because I feel like I'm somebody who should love Doctor Who. I think London is sick. I love the little phone booths. I like the magic stuff. I get into the geeky, dorky things. I get into all of that. And I don't get Doctor Who. I've tried different doctors. I've tried episodes. I've tried skipping season 1 and going to season 2 because that's what everybody tells me to do. Like, what is it that got you into Doctor Who?
Well, first I saw a whole bunch of memes, and I wanted to understand the memes. So I was in high school when I started watching these, and I actually started from season 1 because, like, I lived in a very small town. Nobody watched Doctor Who in my town, and I'm very positive that I know nobody watched Doctor Who in my town. So I started watching it, and I really liked, like, because I started with the Eccles, and I had no idea about David Tennant or anything, so I went into this blind, where I feel like other people kind of get coaxed into Doctor Who, but I had no previous anythings other than a couple of memes that actually had nothing to do with the show. I was just like, who's this man with the spiky hair? And so I started watching. I watched
Was
with
it like a
Eccles.
he's attractive, I should watch this, or was it like just who is this dude?
I wanted to know who David Tennant was. I was like, he seems very interesting. I didn't think he was attractive, um, but it was more of like the character that he was showing seemed really goofy, and people kept saying he was a doctor. And so I was like, oh, okay. So me thinking it's a medical show goes into watching this, and at first I'm like, who's this dude? I'm like, this isn't that weird goofy doctor that everybody was talking about. So then I start watching it, and I got kind of hooked onto it because I like the whimsy and everything of it. I actually really like Eccles a lot. I know a lot of people hate him, um, but I like how his character leads into David Tennant's character because he has like this kind of no nonsense, um, like, I know everything, this is how we do it, that's how we do it. And he doesn't really have like the goofy side. Every once in a while he has like a little bit of goof, but I also kind of liked how um there's kind of a bit of campiness to Doctor Who where the monsters are, it's like low budget but still like, so it didn't scare me, but I would get the tension that you needed for the storytelling of Doctor Who. And then when I get into David Tennant, he is a phenomenal actor that like gets you to feel for everything about like the universe, I think. And there's just like so many really good quotable things. I think some of my favorite quotes actually come from Matt Smith's Doctor. He's very quotable. I'm trying to think of one of my favorite ones is like, uh, we're all just stories in the end, make it a good one. Um, but you just have like all of these arcs throughout. And when I say I like Doctor Who, it's from Eccles to Capaldi. That's
Okay.
that's my bridge. I
Do you
don't
know like
really.
what seasons ish that is?
Um, from the reboot, it's seasons 1 through, I want to say 11. Let me see when Capaldi ends. Um, just gonna mute because I have a very typewritery thing. Um, there's people like screaming at me, being like, "It's these ones," but I have not. Um, my goodness, it is not telling me. Hmm. I think it's to 11, but I could be wrong.
And what fell off for you after that?
Um, so normally you have the doctor and his companions, and
Okay.
usually his companions tell him something, like teach him something. It's not really like a this is what I'm teaching you, but like there's these character arcs with these companions, and usually companions end up tragically not being his companions
Are the
anymore.
companions like friends, or is this like a romantic interest?
Friends.
Okay.
uh, Companions is like traveling companions
Okay.
because he likes to show off. The doctor likes to bring people along with him while he goes through time and space fixing things. Usually he's like, let's just go like check this out because I think it's cool. And then they end up having to fix something. Um, and so there are a couple of romances that happen. There's Rose Tyler with the 10th Doctor. That's a big one. Uh, then there's River and Matt Smith's and Capaldi's a little bit. Um, well, the Doctor in all, actually. Um, and then, yeah, so it's mostly just friends. But when you get to, I can't remember what her, the woman doctor, they give her like 5 companions right from the get-go, and it was like way too much going on all at once. Because one of the things that like people uh tends to be that everybody likes the doctor. Once he regenerates, turns to the new doctor, everybody usually doesn't like the new doctor, but then they give it a little bit to grow, and then everybody ends up really liking the doctor. And with her, I think they did her a disservice of adding so much new, because usually you have a new doctor with an old companion to kind of like offset, so you still have beloved characters with introducing the new doctor.
Okay.
They did not do that with the woman doctor. They just had a whole new cast, whole new everything. And
So
so
usually bring like the companion as kind of the link between the
yeah.
doctors. Okay.
Yeah, because you have between Eccles, you have Rose. From 10 to 11, you have, well, I guess that one kind of starts all over again. Because he starts with, but kind of not. It's weird. They have him all alone in that one, and then he gets a companion, and then from him to the next one is Clara. And so they usually have someone to kind of go in between.
Do you have a favorite companion like, along with
Yeah,
the
Donna Noble. I love
Donna
her
Noble?
so
Okay.
much.
Why do you like Donna?
She's like, I knew she wasn't going to have the romantic tension with the doctor. Whereas before, it felt like every single woman companion, they would try to push like a romantic tension, or they would fall in love with the doctor or something. And she was the first one just to be like, um, he was he was like saying how, talking to her about how he wanted to travel with somebody like a mate. And then she's like, well, I ain't mating with you, buddy. And she like freaks out, and he's like, no, a mate, a mate. And like she's just like really fiery. And I think she has the most tragic companion arc. But yeah, she's funny and witty. She's a comedian in real life, and I think she's really funny as a companion, and that she and David riff off each other very well. And the fact that it was like these are just two friends versus like, oh, will they, won't they? So
Cool.
she's one of
Oh
my
yeah.
favorites. Yeah, either I think yeah. There's like a different category of like who my favorite companion is with which doctor and stuff, because like I really do like uh Billy, not Billy Piper, but Billy with Capaldi. She's this actually I don't want to say anything because that would ruin everything, but anyway, she has a very cool and interesting character arc as well. But yeah, you get all of. I think it's kind of the same way that why I like fan fictions is that with this, when they have regenerations, you get a slightly different something and a different take, and it's yeah, you can just keep going until I guess Disney takes over and ruins it.
Why are there different doctors? Actually, I know that there are, and I get that they're like the same person or
Mm-hmm.
something, but I don't actually know why that happens.
It's a mechanism they made up for the show so they can use different actors to continue the show forever and ever.
What's the like
Yeah,
in-world
but
reason?
yeah, the in-world reason is that he is what's called a Time Lord, which is a species,
Oh,
and they technically only have 12 regenerations. Um, and when they regenerate, it will, their past lives or whatever, will kind of dictate how their personality needs to change to better help what the next stage of their journey will be. Um, and so they
okay.
changed.
And is there is there a goal? Is there a purpose? You said the next stage, and like it sounds like this is going towards something.
Used to. He's the last one of his kinds, but
Okay.
like they're time lords, and so they're trying to make sure that like all of the timelines are running smoothly and making sure that like um, basically the end of the world isn't happening every Christmas in London. um, but so like there are times that are fixed in the universe and they can't change it, but there's other times that they can mess with things and try to make things better. So it's just basically how the universe deems that they could better help the universe. Um, and yeah, so I they have made it so that this doctor has more. I mean, that the doctor, this Time Lord, has more than 12 regenerations, and there's like several workarounds they do with that because technically Peter Capaldi should have been the 12th regeneration, and so therefore like ended his line, like that would have been his last life. Um, but yeah, the only way to like kill a Time Lord is to kill them while they're regenerating, or uh, kill them enough times to get past their 12 regenerations. But I don't know where the lore is going after the girl, because she would have been the 13th, and then technically, yeah. I was like, I feel like they're 15th now. So
okay, there are more out now.
Oh yeah, yeah, because there's it went to the woman doctor, to back to David Tennant for a second. He counted as another doctor. Then to, or I guess he counted as the same doctor as
He was
the
the
Black
same
Doctor.
doctor in a different, like, multiverse situation, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
So he like he regenerated into David Tennant, and then when he was like regenerating again, he stayed as David Tennant and the new Black Doctor. Don't remember how they justified that. And then the Black Doctor is now Billy Piper, who is Rose, but not Rose.
Wait, so do the companions regenerate too?
No.
No. I thought Rose was one companion.
Rose is a companion. The actor is now the new Doctor. And she, like, the way they justify that is that the Time Lords will sometimes borrow faces to remind them of lessons and stuff. So this is them, like, it's not Rose, it's just the actor playing the Doctor.
When you're watching the show, does it feel super convincing, or does it feel like they're kind of pulling stuff out of their butt?
It felt super convincing up to Capaldi. Now it feels like they're pulling stuff out of their butt.
Okay.
What? Disney pulling storylines out of their butts and ruining things? I'm shocked.
Yeah. The fan base dropped so dramatically after Disney took it on. They have since dropped it. So now it's back in BBC's hands, and I'm hoping maybe they could steer it back, because that'd be lovely if Stephen Moffat got back in charge. Moffat.
That'd be great. So with him, and when did he take back over? When did they send it back?
So Stephen Moffat did some of Peter Capaldi's, but he didn't do all of it. He was just kind of like some.
And Peter is the most recent.
No, Peter Capaldi is the after Matt, who is the 11th. So he was the 12th. And then Disney took it when it was the girl.
Okay.
Until this newest Doctor. They dropped it. Billy Piper's the new. She's not Disney. So.
Okay. And does that make you want to watch this Billy Piper version?
I'm curious, because I think she actually knows and likes the Doctor Who that everybody else liked, whereas before they just had whole new sets and people, and I think now they're trying to go back to people who actually cared about it.
Cool. And kind of my last question is just, it's the TARDIS, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you could go to any time, if Doctor was like, David Tennant was like, let go, where are you going?
I don't know that I would want to go where there's people. I think I would just want him to be, I would just like be like, hey, could you just like show
You
me
just want to
around
be
the coolest
alone.
nebulas? Like, just show me the nebulas. That would be cool.
So can it go anywhere besides
Mhm.
those like times that are restricted for whatever reason?
I mean, they can go into those times. They just can't change anything.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Anywhere,
so they can go,
anytime. There are
yeah, anywhere,
multiple
anytime.
times where the Doctor takes the companion to see the end of the universe
Hmm.
or solar system, whatever is happening. A black hole being born.
The death of the universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very pretty scene every time they show it, and I'm like, that's the one I would pick. Of the Doctor Who scenes. Granted, I'm not as well versed in Doctor Who, but like of what I've seen, my choices are like mannequins coming alive. Nope. End of the universe. That's pretty. And a bunch of like weird stuff. Yeah, no thanks. But no, there's a lot of really cool ones. There's like a Victorian time they go around Christmas time, and it's a very pretty thing. My only other note to add to this conversation is I think Lauren's wrong. I think the best companion is very clearly Clara, and for one very simple reason, we get to hear Matt Smith go Clara all the time. Clara, Clara.
I actually like very rarely do I like Clara.
I just think it's funny when he says the name.
It is funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Lauren, will you find me a one-off, like one episode that you think is great, and I will
Blank.
watch it. Blank?
Blank.
Okay, I will watch Blank.
Yep.
What season is it on?
That's a pretty good one, actually. I think that like if there's ones that people are like, oh, like trying to watch Doctor Who, but yeah, Blank is usually my go-to. All right.
Okay, sweet.
With that, we have our shared topic, Spider-Noir episode 1, season 1. I want to know what you think, Conlon. I know we've been having you talk a lot recently, but I've already talked with Josh, so.
You guys already talked about it?
A little bit.
Okay. Number one. I think the ability to switch between black and white and color I was watching on the PS5, you just like automatically switch, was super cool. Like, I actually really like that. It's a side little thing, but I thought it was super cool. I think the acting is all solid. I think it's funny. I think it's charming. I love the way they built the atmosphere, and it's okay to be a little bit slower because it is that 1940s 50s kind of a vibe. So it makes it so it doesn't feel like it has to be as Marvel action packed, shove in your face all the time. It can be a little bit more detective, a little bit noir, a little bit more, well, what the show is. I think the camera work is beautiful. I really like the costume. I think that Nicolas Cage does a good job. My big problem with this show is he looks old, like really, really old, which I've never thought about with Nicolas Cage before. But he even has like that old man jowl thing going on. And I know the character's supposed to be old, but when he's walking anywhere, he has like that old man walk. He's just developed it where he like can't walk normal. So when he's in the Spider-Noir costume and he's fighting, it's not like where they do stunt work and it's a different guy who's a stunt artist and they get it so it looks like Harrison Ford from Indiana Jones or whatever it is. Or like Zorro, they do a good job of having the Zorro mask and you're like, I believe that could be the same actor. It could be the same dude. This one's like, that guy is 40 years younger than Nicolas Cage because he can walk without being like, I'm an old man. And it was very, 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 very apparent to me that it was not the same character. And it does pull me out of the story a little bit. I've watched 2 episodes of this now. It's not enough to ruin the show for me. I still think it is quite good. I'm very excited for where it's going to go. I like the menacing fire, and if we turn it to black and white, I think the guy starting on fire just looks absolutely awesome. Um, I like some of the villains. I like the metal sand fist dude. Like there's some interest there. I think the mob boss when he comes in is such a good mob boss. I was like, this is some Scorsese goodness. You are acting that like a champ, my friend. I don't even know the actor's name. There's enough here to keep me super interested. I just think it actually shouldn't have been Nicolas Cage. They should have gotten somebody who's a little bit younger.
Okay. Um.
What's your
Yeah.
rating of what you've seen so far?
My rating of what I've seen so far is probably like a 7.5. I've liked it.
I will say that like I after watching like Spider-Verse and like that Spider-Noir and then watching this Spider-Noir, I did not know whether this show is trying to be serious or campy. And if it was campy, okay, it's okay. If it was trying to be serious, I'm just like, Nicolas Cage, I cannot take you seriously.
I took it super campy, like the whole 1940s, 50s kind of a campy vibe.
Yeah, because like it feels like everybody else is treating it campy and Nicolas Cage is taking it very seriously. And
Oh,
so that's where I'm like, it kept. But then sometimes I feel like I can't gauge Nicolas Cage and his campiness. So this is where I texted Josh and I was like, I don't know if this is serious or campy, but if it's campy, then it's okay. Because if not, I was like, this is really bad. So anyway, let's hear your thoughts, Josh.
What's your rating on episode 1?
This is not a movie for me. So I'm giving it a 4.
ooh,
Yeah.
that's rough.
I could not handle Nicolas Cage. Like, if they wanted to do an animated Spider Noir and have Nicolas Cage keep doing Spider Noir, great. But like I was watching the colored version, it was very saturated, and I kept getting like distracted by his eyes, and then I was like, yeah. Anyway, I was a little intense in the campiness. I was like overstimulated. That's the word. That's why I have my in my parentheses for my name tag overstimulated. um, so like this, it wasn't a show for me. If it works for other people, that's great. I don't think that like it's bad in any way, but for me, it was just it didn't work for me. So it's a 4.
Okay, okay. All right, Josh.
Gonna be a parrot here. Um, when you make a first episode, you want to draw your audience in and make them want to watch more.
Mhm.
When I watched Spider Noir episode 1, I was not overstimulated. I did watch the color version. I do think it would be better in black and white. Um, but I just didn't care. It was very slow. They didn't put their they didn't do anything to draw me into watching episode 2. The episode ended and I was like, "Well, that was 45 minutes." I don't care about Nicolas Cage's character. I don't care about anybody else's character. I was like, okay, he wasn't Spider Man. Now he needs to be Spider Man again. Who could have seen this coming? And that is the plot of the first episode. And I'm like, we could have done something else, given me a villain to be interested in, given me some kind of mystery. So I'm like, ooh, I want to figure that out. But we didn't. And it was 45 minutes of my life. And I have no interest in watching any more of this show.
Oh, wow.
I was very much looking forward to this show. I love Spider-Noir and the Spider-Verse movies. I think it's a great little thing. But just like Lauren, if this was animated and Nicolas Cage was the
It would be better.
voice actor and it was a little bit ridiculous, and I don't think it's campy. I told Lauren it was campy because I wanted her to enjoy it more, because she said, if this is campy, I might enjoy it, but if it's not, I don't really like it. And I was like, it's campy. But really, I was saying, just enjoy it so somebody will, because I do not enjoy this. I was bored. I was like, okay, this should be animated. This should be a little over the top ridiculous. It's not. Everybody's being way too serious in this, and it's just boring. There's not plot in it. It's just things happening right now. I'm giving it a 4.
I genuinely didn't I didn't think you guys would be negative on this. I'm actually surprised by this. For real.
Yeah. Well, I'm
What
glad you
in
enjoyed it.
episode 1 is compelling?
I liked I like the whole like giving up Spider-Man thing. Like it I'm kind of a sucker for it. So I was kind of like, okay, I like this. I like the wife's death. I thought the fire guy was cool. I thought the dude with the fist was interesting. I like that the fire guy, they don't know where his powers are coming from, and it seems like there's more than one. That was kind of interesting to me. I think the Spider-Noir costume is cool. I like the receptionist girl a lot, actually. Um, yeah, there's stuff that I liked about it. Obviously, a lot more than
That's
you
fine.
guys.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think I would say don't watch this show. My
You're just
experience
like, this
was
is
we were
boring.
watching episode 1.
Yeah.
Watch this and the first episode of Attack on Titan and tell me which one you want to watch episode 2 of.
Attack on Titan.
You know, Arrow, Flash, right? We can go into the superhero thing and we can see episode 1s that make you want to see episode 2s. Now, I think Spider Noir will be overall better than Flash or Arrow, because those devolve into absolute nonsense after a couple of seasons. But like, episode 1 is like, I need to capture the viewer. And they were like, no, we're not gonna do
I
that.
waved at them as they passed by.
Hi, viewer. We're just gonna keep on going. And it's like, okay,
Would you like?
have
Okay,
fun
bye.
on your train. Like that's cool. Yeah, there's good elements to it. Like the receptionist is a good element. The fire guy is a good element. The costume is okay, but like we see him give up the costume. We don't even see him put the costume on in the first episode. We don't see him be like, I'm
Right.
going to do this. We see him be like, I'm going to do this, but not do it. And that's how the
Do you
first
get-
episode, you're like, okay,
Do you guys care if I talk about the second episode at all? Are you going to watch it at all?
Go ahead.
I have no desire.
Okay, so the second episode has a part that I actually really like, where he his receptionist gets threatened by the mob, by the guy that you see in the first episode, and she decides that she's going to quit. He is like at the end of his ropes. His life's going nowhere, and he doesn't even live in the place where he cemented his costume into the wall anymore. So he goes and he's like, "Hey, this is just my house where me and my wife used to live." And he's like, "Can I just go in the bathroom?" And so he goes in the bathroom, and all of a sudden they hear boom, 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 and he gets the costume out, goes out the window. It's the first time that he's Spider-Man again, because he's gonna go threaten the mob boss, basically leave his receptionist alone, like the one family member that he has left. He goes and he takes down the mob boss. It's actually a pretty good fight scene. I really enjoyed it. But right after that, you find out that he just put on the costume, the thing that he swore he would never do, and there was going to be a sting that was going to shut down this whole mob boss organization. So he basically just kept the mob boss out of prison. And he's like, shit. And it was just a good little storyline. I had a good time. And maybe that's coloring my overall rating. I don't know, but I liked it.
I would say probably not, because you were compelled to watch episode 2, and
I
I
was.
ended episode 1, and I was like, I'm just,
I'm done.
I'm done. Just move on. I don't care to keep watching this. So I don't think it's colored it. There's something about the show that you're into that Lauren and I just aren't.
All right. All right. Hey guys, of all the surprising ones, this is one of the more surprising of all the shared topics. Legitimately,
I'm
I was very surprised
surprised
by this.
myself because, like, I love Spider-Man. I was really looking forward to this show. There wasn't much that they could do to turn me off of this show because, like,
Besides boring you to tears.
at least at least Amazing Spider-Man, I feel like they were trying something, and like, yeah, they just. I'm sure it gets better. I'm sure that there's more to it. It's just episode 1 you're supposed to capture, and they just didn't. And that to me is a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Well, we're glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too.
All right. With that, next week we'll be watching Cargo, not Fargo, Cargo with a C, and uh, make sure to watch Cargo, and hopefully you guys like Spider-Noir better than Josh and I did. Have a good week. Bye.
See you guys.